Hello, everyone here. Brooke Norlin, your pink-haired social selling bestie, here to help you connect the dots in your online business. And today, I actually want to take a quick second and address the room because we have more than one room with us today. Hello, Facebook. How are you? Hello, Instagram. How are you? And hello, YouTube. In the future. How are you? I wanted to point that out today that I am actually doing multiple platforms with one single live today, and we're going to circle back around to that a little bit later. So what happens with this piece of content specifically, I'm streaming to Facebook and to Instagram, even though I'm not looking at you Instagram quite as well, because this video here that I'm recording will end up on YouTube later. So smart work. Smart work is what we're doing today. I wanted to point that out. And like I said, absolutely circle back around to that in just a minute. So what we're talking about today is actually going to be where you should be showing up in what social media platforms you should be showing up on for your online business. And I want to start out by saying it's actually not important to start out by being everywhere, but you should absolutely choose where you're going to be carefully and strategically so that you can show up well. So today we're going to break that down and talk about all the bits and pieces of that and help you kind of decide where you should be and what is best for you. So first of all, I want to talk about time and resource management. We want to talk about being on multiple platforms. It does take time, right? So you need to consider the amount of time that you have and also know that being on multiple platforms can spread you too thin too. So you need to consider the amount of time that you have, consider smart work like we're doing today, and make sure that you're making the best choice for you based on the time that you have to put in your business, because you want to show up well. You want to show up consistently. So if you're overextending yourself, then you're not going to be able to show up consistently in all of these places. Your quality is far better, and then quantity there to excel in on your platform. So make sure that you're actually considering that time and the availability that you have, or the effort that you have available to put into multiple platforms. The next thing you want to really look at is understanding your audience. So where is that audience showing up? So we want to consider like all of the platforms that we have. LinkedIn, for instance, isn't for everybody. That is more for people who are wanting to work one-on-one with professionals or things like that. But TikTok, complete opposite probably of LinkedIn, where that is more people that you're going to find in a different generation. I know a lot of people in a lot of generations use TikTok, but you just have to kind of consider where your audience is showing up. And once you kind of look at all of the platforms and decide, you know what, my audience is probably more active on this platform, they're probably maybe consuming on this one, but maybe not as active on that one, then you have like a priority list of where you should be showing up in your business. It's going to be the most beneficial for you. The next thing is to kind of look at the platform strengths and limitations. There's so many social media platforms out there. So you need to consider what each one wants from you. Instagram and TikTok, for instance, they're more video platforms, and Instagram has the capability also to have photos and carousels and lives. TikTok has lives as well, and stories. But so you just want to consider what they're good for. Threads and X, formerly Twitter, are good for text. And I think you can share video and photo there as well. But you want to consider what performs best on there, and that's words and thought pieces, things like that. LinkedIn is really good for articles, blogs. Pinterest is great for blogs and lead magnets. So all of these platforms are different for different reasons, and you want to kind of consider what content you're good at creating, and then also narrow down on what platform is going to be best for you. Also consider the platform limitations, what you can't do there that you may want to do. And that's going to help you decide if you want to have more than one platform. Maybe you're really good at blogs, so you want to have Pinterest, but you maybe want to take pieces of those blogs and make them into reels because you're good at video as well. So you want to do Pinterest, which also is really good for video, by the way. And also, lost my train of thought. Maybe do Pinterest, for your blogs, but take those, make them into reels, and you can post them on Instagram and TikTok and also on Pinterest and YouTube for YouTube shorts. So just consider those places and also where they can overlap and what pieces you can overlap on. I do want to say before I move on, and I didn't write this down, but it just because you can post on multiple platforms because you're creating the content doesn't mean that each platform is going to perform really, really well. It doesn't mean you shouldn't post there. I post, for instance, on YouTube once a week, these videos, but I'm not necessarily nurturing YouTube. It's there, it's available, it's good for SEO, it's good for being found on a different platform. But I understand that my analytics on YouTube are probably not going to be as great as the places I put more effort, such as Instagram or Facebook. So just consider that you can put these things in multiple places, but don't get too discouraged if you're not putting the effort into the platform necessarily that you won't see the results, obviously, that you're looking for. Then you also want to consider platform strategies. So you want to make sure that you have really clear ways to do two things. You want to get new clients and you want to nurture those clients. So you want to make sure that you have a really strong top funnel. And by that, I mean public channel where you can catch new clients. If the only place you're posting is, for instance, a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, you are not going to be bringing new people in there from a social media platform. Now, you may have other ways that you bring people into that group, so you can consider that as well. But like in direct sales, for instance, you might do parties and your party might funnel people into that VIP group for you. Or maybe you do some networking locally and that brings them into that group, that private group. But you want to make sure that you do have something that's going to bring people to you. And if you're performing mostly online as a business, if that's where you're wanting to be, then you have to have a public platform. Might be Facebook, might be Pinterest, might be Instagram, might be TikTok, but it has to be public and you have to be showing up there well and consistently because you need to create a place for your community to naturally congregate first. And that is not naturally, they don't naturally go looking for your group for what you're doing, probably. They're going to naturally look for something public. So you want to make sure you have that as well. And this, then you might just have that one platform where you're doing both those things, getting new clients and also nurturing your clients on one platform. You can do that all on one public channel. You might have more than one because you want to bring them a little bit closer into a smaller group or a smaller situation where maybe you have a group or an app or a web page where you've got like a forum for people, but you want to have those two things covered. It's essential. Another thing you can do is analyze your competitors, people who are doing what you do and doing it well. Like you're aspiring to be these people and you're just like, what are they doing? Where are they showing up? Look at where they are, what content is doing well for them. And maybe that's going to be inspiration for you selecting that platform as well. Then you're going to want to make sure that you are doing some experimentation and being flexible because different platforms might work better for you and you're not even sure. So if you want to try one platform, if you want to try one platform at a time, you go on Instagram and you've given it a good try and it's just not doing super well, be flexible, make sure you're looking at your analytics and making sure that you are adjusting your strategy, but perhaps you're finding that's just not the best place for you to be. Maybe you need to move over and be more public on Facebook. Maybe that's going to do better for you. So just be flexible and adaptive to the changes and the trends in social media to make sure you're keeping up with that. And then also understand that maybe adding or experimenting with different platforms is going to be best for your business as well. So when I say that too, we need to make sure that we're really measuring our success and honing into the things that are doing well. So your analytics and your metrics, you need to use those to gauge your success of your presence on each platform that you're at. You need to be tracking these monthly and making sure that you are consistently we're looking at the content that you've created and how well it's performing and making more of the stuff that does well and adjusting the things that aren't so that you can perform well on the platform that you're putting the effort into. So that's going to inform your decisions on how you focus your efforts and move forward with your platforms. So as I said at the start of the video, you can show up on multiple platforms like I am now, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So you can do smart work, which is really, really essential for time management in your business. That doesn't mean that you have to show up everywhere, but go through this list, kind of look through everything and make a list of all the social platforms and narrow it down to where you want to be. And don't overthink. Um, if you can post on multiple places, like I said earlier, like this is going in multiple places, maybe it's still going to go up, but isn't the platform that you are necessarily going to be looking for growth and success in. But you can still put it there. It can still be there. It can still live there. It can still exist there. Maybe you'll be surprised that the platform that you're cross posting to is actually performing well. And maybe you wanted to switch platforms and do that for your business as well. So, just a reminder that social media is an ever evolving space, and what works today might change tomorrow. So, stay adaptable and up to date with trends. That's really, really key. And make sure that you're following me if you want more insights into thriving in the dynamic world of online business. Go forth, have great success, and we'll talk again very soon.